Hi everyone, this is Juran Zhai's teaching practice 5, and today's objective is to learn the vocabularies of family members and to learn the vocabularies of jobs, the occupations, and to learn to introduce the family members to the others using these words. Okay, so here I go. Hi class! Today we're going to learn to introduce our family members to others. And here is a family tree. And let's say you're in this blank space, okay, this circle. This is you, and this is your whole family. And let's start with your parents. We all know who is your mother and who is your father, right? Okay, so put them together, they will be called your parents. And your parents, they have their parents. They are called your grandparents. This is grand and this is parents. Grandparents. And this is your grandmother and this is your grandfather. Alright? And then if your parents have more than one child, the male one would be your brother, and the female one would be your sister. Sister and brother. Okay? And if you are married, your partner, if she is a female, then she is your wife. And if your partner is male, then he's your husband. And if you guys have babies, the male one is your son, and the female one is your daughter. And if your brother or your sister have children, they will be called your nephew or your niece. The nephew is a boy and the niece is a girl. Alright? Then, if your father has a sister or your mother has a sister, they're the same thing. She would be called your auntie or aunt. If your mother has a sister, it's the same thing, auntie, okay? Or your mother has a brother, or your father has a brother, then he is your uncle. And if your uncle is married, how would you call this person who married to your uncle? Right, that would be called your auntie too. The same thing happens here. If your auntie has married to a guy, and that guy would be your uncle. Okay? And if your uncle has a child, no matter it's a he or a she, that will be your cousin. And he or she will call you a cousin. Okay? Now the next slide. Here's an activity. Now I will say the names and you guys tell me their relationships, okay? For example, if I say, how would Kate call Edward? And you guys tell me that Edward is Kate's father, okay? Okay, let's start. How would Wendy call Fred? This is Wendy and this is Fred. Right. Fred is Wendy's nephew. Okay. And then how would Ned call July? Yes, July is Ned's grandchild. His his Ned's grandson. Okay. And if Wendy has a child, let's say he's called Chris, then how would Chris call Edward? This is Edward. How would Chris call him? Yes, uncle. So Diana would be Chris. Yes, auntie. Right. And hmm. And how would Kate call Harold? Yes, Harold is Kate's uncle. Okay. Now the next one. What do you do? So this question asks for the occupation. So here are some popular occupations. The first one is doctor. Anyone here knows what a doctor is? Yes, a doctor works in the hospital, and he prescribes for the patients and do the operations and surgeries. Okay? So how is a nurse different from a doctor? A nurse takes care of the patients. This is a patient and this is the nurse. Okay? Nurse, like in the past, it's considered to be a occupation that always be pursued by females, but actually nowadays many male nurses has has come to work. Yeah, and a teacher. What is a teacher? You guys all know, right? I am your teacher. So a teacher usually work in the schools or institutions, educational institutions, and well, the professor works in universities and colleges, and they do not only give lectures, but they also do research, and they they must be doctor, not this doctor, not this doctor. Um, this is another doctor. So this is the this is a this is an academic degree that one could get. Okay, so the policemen and the firefighters, what do? They protect us and they save our lives, right? Policemen, they fight with the bad guys and send them to jail. While the firefighters, they fight with fire and any kind of dangers. A chef is someone who cook in restaurants, and a waiter or a waitress if that's a female person. They serve you food or drinks in the restaurants. An artist might be a painter like this one shown here, or the musicians can also be artists, like the ones who play piano or violin, and the designers who design your clothes and the buildings or the cities. The designers might be artists too. And athlete. An athlete is a sportsman who plays sports, the competitions with others. And for example, the runners here are athletes. And the soccer players or the basketball players. The government officer, like the name suggests, they are they work for the government. They often work in the buildings and just sit there, do some meetings, and do the documentations, that sort of things. And who are they? What is their job? Anyone can guess? They're retired. They have retired. Retire. So they have no job here. They're very old to work. So what they can do here is to enjoy the rest of their lives. So when you wanna ask for, when you wanna ask others' job, you ask, what does he do? What does she do? Or you ask, what is his job? What is her job? And the answer might be he is or she is. Like he is a doctor, or she is a teacher. He is a musician, or she is a professor. Okay. Now for the activity time, I'll send you guys into breakout rooms, and you guys try to get answers of the following questions from the other group members. First, you ask, how many people does your family have? You ask for the number. And then you ask, who are they? You ask what roles does the members play? And you ask, what do they do? For example, you ask, what does your mother do? And the other one might say, my mother is a doctor. Okay, and then after 10 minutes, you guys get back to the main room and report to me, and we'll share. Okay.